Hi guys, so today we will learn about the development of kids and the models around it. So, Kindliche Entwicklung actually means the child development. Modelle is the English word model, and Phasen the phases, right? So, we will learn about the Freud, Erikson, Piaget, and Kohlberg. Okay, they are the four people, actually the philosophers, and we will learn the definition and the examples. So, why is it moving? Okay, so here. So the first one is Erickson's model. Oh no, something's wrong. The first one was supposed to be actually the Freud's. So we have the Freud's model here. So in Freud's model, that is psychosexual Entwicklung, like the psychological and sexual development, right? So there's oral phase, anal phase, phalische, latens phase, and genital phase. Okay, that is at puberty. Puberty is actually puberty in English. Okay, oral phase is till 1 year, anal phase till 3 years, from 1 to 3, phalische phase 3 to 6, latent 6 to 11, genital after like 12. So in genital phase, what we have actually beginning from the oral phase is like the mother milk. It begins from the mother milk consume when the baby begins that and eating the food which is almost liquid. Then the in anal phase, the baby learns how to control the toilet, and it gives him a sense of control that he is under control. And then uh, he is given the toilet training, the adoption training. Then in phalische phase, I actually mm, so I would just read it all. And then in phalische phase, we have the Entdeckung der Geschlechtsunterschiede. So the child learns the the male and the female, and in this phase comes actually the Oedipus complex. The child would love the opposite gender parent a bit more. So you would have to learn about the Oedipus complex, in that the child has a kind of like Oedipus complex is that uh, the male child has more attraction towards the mother, and the female child has more attraction towards the father, and that is visible actually in Latin's phase, uh, when their needs are not met, because of course the mother is a mother and a father is a father, they are not your love interest. It's so then they search around the friendships, the in Schule, in schools, and their drive is such that they need to calm themselves down a bit, and they need to redirect it in sports and a little bit of friendship. They do like 6 to 11 years old, they try to make friends, they try to adjust in the system, um, they try to find that connection, basically. Like it is said that that a man is generally searching for, or like anybody, this Oedipus complex, or when it comes to women it is called Electra complex. So in our school life also, we try to make friends with the same kind of people who give us the same kind of impression which we get from somebody who we loved in our childhood. Okay, then the genital phase, pubertate. Then uh, at this the children are at puberty, they generally seek for the partners, and the first the first real relationship. And this phase is like there are multiple interpretations. There isn't a single interpretation of this phase actually. So a lot of people would say that in this we just focus on learning and sport, and we just forget this s- this thing what we have in falsche Phase, which, and some people will not agree to it. So Freud's psychosexual Entwicklung, which I read, it has multiple interpretations, and everybody done interpret it also the same way. But actually, like, Freud is the father of psychology, and he was intelligent, very intelligent, and it is the first ever way to understand how our subconscious mind since childhood takes grip on us to control our whole life in a way. So the next one is uh, Erickson. Erickson. Erickson is a bit understandable, not very complex actually, and the divisions are very simple. It's generally between what should happen and what can happen if what should happen does not happen. So Oververtrauen is like original ability to trust oneself, and having like zero self confidence. It comes from the Bezugsperson can be your and any relative. It can be of mother, father, on which you depend, uh, and if you have a sense of security through that person, Sicherheit durch verlässliche Beziehungsperson, then in that case you do develop a sense of self assurance that yes, things work out. Yes, it's no need to catastrophize. It's not that if you are hungry in the morning it means you're going to go hungry throughout the day. It's not like that. Things don't go that bad. You don't lose the assurance, because it in your mind you are not in threat response in childhood. So Futon, Trosten, so like Futon is actually like just feeding, and so this is actually a very main example, because hunger is also a kind of drive like instinct, and if your instincts are satisfied, then you don't learn that you are unsafe. So hunger is that kind of an instinct. It's just related to life instinct. So if your hunger as a child is satisfied, if you're not kept hungry, then you your brain is trained to think that things work out. Then autonomy versus sham, Zweifel. Sham means like feeling of shame, Zweifel means doubt. Autonomy means autonomous. In English also we call it at autonomy. Then Selbstständigkeit entwickeln. So development of the self independence, like you become a bit more autonomous. How this happens? When the child learns to eat food on his own. Then initiative, like you take the initiative on your own, and like, or do you always feel that no, the things will go wrong? Schuld means the feeling of guilt or blame. So when you try out new things, how like when you play out different roles and you figure out if things work out or not, and how you are treated. Are you allowed to take initiative, or you end up taking too much initiative that you take up tasks which overwhelm you? You can't fulfill the responsibilities, like if you are the elder child who has to look after all the four younger children, and you cannot fulfill the responsibility. Or if you are supposed to be the golden child who has to top in all the subjects, go for the swimming classes, learn singing, and like having so much burden on you, then that is exhaustion. So if that kind of initiative would actually make you feel guilty, so a limited amount of initiative which is suitable for your age, like 3 to 6 years. Like you will see parents who want their children to study really well at the age of 5 or 6 also. That's not the right way of development. They might be scoring good marks, but they their brain learns that if they lose 5% or 10%, then maybe they're not doing good enough. The feeling of not good enough, that persistent feeling of guilt can generate if they are overwhelmed with the responsibility, then wax in the sense of purpose and minderwertigkeit. So if a child is doing something which gives him a sense of purpose, so if the child has a few favorite subjects like science or maths, and he is doing good in those subjects, you will see that normally a lot of children, that they study one or two subjects really well, because it gives them a sense that that sense of achievement is achieved through those subjects. For me, that was maths, and for my brother, that was science. And when you do it, you feel proud. And when and there are some kind of work which just don't give you that sense of purpose. And minderwertigkeit, if you don't perform well, then you feel a sense of decreased self-worth. So that also happens uh, to all the students, almost. That happens sometime or the other. Identity and role and diffusion. So identity and role diffusion. So who am I, where bin ich, it generally happens at youth. And Beispiel, the Berufswünsche, what you want to do, and what are your hobbies. So I learned an example related to it, in which there was a person who had done the training to become a mechanic, and he lost his legs. So he was in this situation where he could not figure out what he is, who he is, because his Berufswünsche, his desired profession, was not possible now. He had always seen himself as somebody very sporty and very somebody who can deal with equipments, tools, and he had done the whole training to become a mechanic, and now he has lost his legs and he has to start all over again. Now this thing happens, and this is something which is very deciding factor for the remaining part of the life. um, because if you don't know who you are, your ability to intimidate means your ability to come close, form close bonds, will be limited, will be disturbed, and you will feel more isolated. The isolation, so the next phase is directly affected by it, intimidate and isolation. So the Erwachsene, suppose 28 years old somebody, right? Junges Erwachsene, 25-year old somebody, right? Nehe eingehen by spiel partnership. So in this phase, you actually seek for the partners, but you want somebody who complements you, or somebody who makes sense to you. But for all of that, you need to know who you are and what you want to look like. What's your role in the society, and that should be cleared here first. So if somebody says, "Oh, you're too driven, you're too ambitious, and all that," you should look for the relationships and all. Then you need to tell that you need to really understand who you are first, and then you can seek out the other person. The world is too big. You're not losing out. There is no FOMO. You will find somebody, but you need to follow the process, and the process is that first you need to find yourself. And then the next is generativity. Okay. Mm. Then uh-huh, the generativity. So, and stagnation. So do you grow? uh, your generation, does the generation go on? Do you generate, and or do you stagnate? Like, do you not do you stay single? Because if you're isolated, this will lead here also, like you will be stagnated, you will be having affairs which don't make sense. and integrate it. Are you able to integrate all the aspects of your life, all the phases of your life, or you are first swifled, you are just having doubt of what kind of person you have become when you look back. This happens when you are going in rent, like in during retirement. And in my opinion, I have seen like very poor people also sometimes very satisfied with their life, and sometimes very rich people are also not satisfied with their life. You need to be conscious throughout your life to be at the end, be able to look at it in a comprehensive way and to be able to integrate all the aspects of your life. You need to correct your mistakes. You don't need to make your whole life about a justification of what mistakes you did in the youth, like, because then it means you can never truly integrate. Integration does not happen without improvising upon what you have got for you. Okay, then the next one is Piaget cognitive Entwicklung. So basically, in Piaget, it goes only around the cognition, mostly sensomotoric cognition. So the child learns through sense organs and through motor activities like hand movements and all that. So sense sinus or Erfahrung, like seeing, hearing, and motorisch is what? Motorisch is Greifen, then then uh krabbeln, like cribble. Okay, then pre-operational. So pre-operational, like till 7 years it is like that. So you think in pictures, and you speak like you have the fantasy spieler, like you fantasize like you are a dog, you are a rabbit, things like that. Then concrete operational, then you think logically. You are able to think, abstract a little bit. That is like, actually, this happens after 11, but logical thinking is actually at the base of the abstract thinking. But you're able to think concrete. That is also good, like concrete in the sense that this happened, then this happened, and then therefore this happened. And when you are able to abstract it out, that is the formal thinking, the formal cognitive process that is called. And hypothetical thinking, that, so suppose, one example of hypothetical, like in maths everything is actually hypothetical. uh, like not everything, like a lot of things. So for example, one hypothesis is that if there is a source of light, it is emitting a ray, and not there is no barrier on the way, then this ray can go till infinity. You are not going to the infinity to see it, right? But you can hypothesize, because it makes sense, it is logical. So basically, ethics discussion, what is right, what is wrong, that can also be done. So basically, his is all about the cognition, like how your brain starts processing the information, and how your brain evolves to process those kind of informations. uh, and that also means that if you look at it, then maybe it's not same for everyone. Some people are good at concrete thinking but not at abstract thinking, which is another case of uh, schizophrenic. I need to check it, but no, 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 no. In basically in autismus, that's the thing. The people talk more concrete than abstract. They can't, and in the phases of dementia, it's also a thing that the people start talking in more concrete sense and not in abstract. They mm, they Any abstract discussion is a bad idea with the people of dementia. So that also happens, like you can lose these abilities of cognition also in some diseases or in situations in old age. And abstract thinking is something that varies differently. Like the people who have mathematical background, their ability to think abstract is huge as compared to normal people. If you're doing philosophy, your ability to think abstract is much higher than normal people. That's one reason that arguing with somebody with lesser ability to think abstract can lead to a lot of conflicts. Okay, then this is Kohlberg moralische Entwicklung. So Kohlberg is moralisch and Piaget was cognitive, right? Moral development. Präkonventioneller Stufe 1. So pre-conventional Stufe means level. Gehorsam, your feeling of belonging. Strafe vermeiden, to avoid the punishment. Beispiel, ich klaue nicht, sonst Ärger. Okay, I don't steal, otherwise I have to face the anger. Okay. Pre Präkonventionell Stufe 2. Eigene Vorteile, Beispiel, ich helfe, wenn ich auch etwas bekomme. Okay, that's not a bad example. Yeah. So konventionell Stufe, Anerkennung durch andere. So ich will ein guter Freund sein. Why? So that he wants to become a I want to become a good friend. Why? Because then I get recognized as a nice person among my friends, right? Then konventionell Stufe, fear. This is like gesetzeswichtig. Man darf nicht stehlen, weil es verboten ist. So you are not supposed to steal because that's forbidden by the law. That kind of thing. Then Kohlberg moralische Entwicklung में post convent oh shit. Mm. Kohlberg moralische Entwicklung, then postkonventionale Stufe, gesellschaftliche Verträge, Beispiel Gesetze sind wichtig, aber können geändert werden. So the like post conventional. What is conventional? And post conventional means you're questioning the convention, you're questioning the custom, the present standard of morality. That is post conventional. So it has also two levels: Stufe 5 and Stufe 6, level 5 and 6. So ist universal principle. Ich helfe, weil jeder Menschen wurde verdient. I help because every person has to earn the value, and through this I earn it. Basically, if you have to understand the post-conventional levels, you need to read. You can read if you want. Kant, Immanuel Kant, he was also a German philosopher. Like the universal maxims, what everybody should do, and how everybody should act like a perfect being even if they are not, because logically they can imagine how a perfect being would have acted in a particular situation. So doing duty for the sake of duty was his one famous line. It has got famous too much. And their philosophies of Mill and Bentham. uh, so these are the people who had given some of the universal principles on which the constitutions of many countries, including India, are based, and they were really good philosophers. You should read them. Okay, so here we are at the end of our. And so, if please like and subscribe, it's the end of our slides here. Cheers, bye bye.